What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody enjoyed the game last night. Wanted to jump on here to recap Steelers-Texans, give some general thoughts as well as some detailed analysis on some individual performances that I wanted to highlight. Instead of posting the recap right away in the middle of the night like I would normally do if this was a regular season game, went back and watched the first half again just because I'm a sicko and that's how I'm wired. But couldn't sleep. That's what I did. But I'm not remotely concerned about the overall outcome. Obviously, the loss, etc., the score. But it was a pretty sloppy performance from my vantage point, particularly in the first half on both sides of the ball. Really, Mike Tomlin pretty much echoed those sentiments in his post-game presser. Just before we get started, y'all know the deal, man. Please make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, consider becoming a member to the channel for even more content. Make sure you get your Steelers gear at Homage. Going to be doing some giveaways for you guys really soon, and I'm excited about that. So overall, I thought the offense had some nice moments. We had a couple successful screen plays early. That's been a theme throughout camp. They're trying to get the ball out quicker, get these guys, offensive linemen, on the move. One to Najee, where I thought he was able to make a guy miss in the backfield. Justin Fields did a good job, changing that arm slot to get the ball around a defender. They got Pickens involved early, couple short catches. He got a screen opportunity. They also hit him on a little hitch route on the outside, gave him the chance to get some yards after catch. But ultimately, man, honestly, the story of the first couple drives, really the fumbled snaps ultimately really killed two of those, honestly. First one was really unfortunate just because I'm 90% sure the two-man route combo that they were working up top was going to be Pat working a version of a sail concept. They had a great single high look for it too. Really unfortunate there. First snap to me looked a little bit to the right as Herbig was kind of zone stepping in that direction. Maybe he's anticipating Justin moving with him a little bit. I know Dan Orlovsky on Twitter just kind of highlighted that little tidbit as well. But, Herbig, he's not an overly athletic guy. So those reach blocks when you're trying to reach, a three tech, whatever, a little bit tougher on a guy like that. I think the second one was a little bit more down the middle, but I didn't get a great look at it live, to be honest with you. So, but just communication, I asked around for people that have been at training camp, more days than I was, and they said the snaps haven't been an issue. So it's just kind of really unfortunate, but it is what it is. And just in terms of Justin's performance overall, you can probably twist his performance to whatever fits your narrative. And I feel like that's pretty much what people on social media are doing. I thought he did some really good things. I thought the crosser to Van Jefferson off play action was absolutely beautiful. I thought that his intermediate touch and ball placement been very solid, really, from what I've seen throughout camp. And that's just such a big part of this offense. I think it really bodes well to just how he's commanding the offense, how comfortable he is right now. The fact that he's operating just so well in that area in the intermediate range on those crossers and stuff is a big plus for me. The lone incompletion, I think, in the stat sheet was that outbreaker to Van Jefferson was actually a catch. It looked like after we saw the replay, I kind of wish Tomlin would have challenged that, but ball placement still wasn't very good there. He was a tick late. He was inside. That's a big no-no combination on outbreakers. Typically, that's how you usually see interceptions happen when you're throwing to the boundary like that. As far as the sacks go, I see a lot of discourse on the sacks. I think the first one on third down looked like they were working kind of a stick concept to the left side of the field. It's just cover one with a whole defender. Houston had Pat and GP pretty well leveraged there. They're playing like outside leverage. You're getting out breaking routes. It's going to be tough. You could argue that Justin Price should take a deep shot to Van Jefferson because he's got the one-on-one with the middle field close safety in the post. I don't know. I can't really see from the broadcast angle if Van Jefferson even stacked it, if he got a win or anything like that. I think Calvin was actually working on the other side as the X receiver on a speed out. Not my favorite design, if I'm being completely honest, especially on the backside. Would like more of like a whip route or something like that over there. But Troy Fautanu, rookie first round pick, he struggled last night. He's a rookie. That's what happens. Rookie tackles tend to do that. Daniil Hunter, very, very good player. Also a very difficult guy to game plan for just because he has a very unique kind of play style. But in my eyes, that first sack, just way too short of a corner in my eyes. If you're going to go for like a three-step drop out of the gun, the ball does need to come out typically on his back foot. But, I mean, he got beat pretty quickly on that one. Ideally, you'd like to see Fields maybe feel it a little bit better, but it is what it is. The second sack, I think, was also on Fautanu. He got beat inside with a power move from what I can remember. So he did have a really nice block in the run game early in the first quarter. But, overall, it was a tough one for the rookie, but better days ahead. Hopefully the knee injury isn't anything serious. That's probably what I'm waiting to hear back more than anything else. Steelers can't afford to lose like another guy like that. Roman Wilson missed a good chunk of training camp, missed last night's game. Anytime rookies have to miss time early, it's pretty detrimental to, how quickly they can kind of get on that moving train. Didn't think Broderick Jones played particularly well last night either. Couldn't reach his landmark on a red zone run. That ended up in a tackle for loss. Saw at least one notable pass rush loss as well. We'll see what the film says on that one. But, he started at right tackle, played, I think, one series. And then in the second series, I think they shifted him to left. And then at some point over the course of the next quarter and a half, he went back to right tackle. He played into the third quarter last night, as did Calvin Austin. A little strange to me. I'm not going to complain about the extra reps because I think that he absolutely needs them. Again, I've talked about it in the recap videos. I've written about it for SteelersNow.com. The plan for Broderick Jones makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't know that they're setting this kid up for success moving him around like this. That's just my opinion. You can agree, disagree, whatever, but that's how I feel about it. Jonathan Ward, who we shouted out pregame, had a really nice explosive run. It was nice to see that as well. Cordero Patterson did dress, even though he hasn't practiced at all. Of course, he didn't play, but it's going to be interesting. It seems like CPAT's really close to making his return. I thought from a design standpoint, I thought the play action stuff was money, man. They created a bunch of explosives off play action. It's really one of the best parts of the offense. Y'all know my thoughts on Arthur's offense. We've talked about that as much as we possibly could. From a run game standpoint, we saw mostly mid zone. We saw crunch, which is just like trap wham. We have a video up on the channel on that one as well. Splash of true wide zone. I remember at least one rep of duo as well. I didn't love the play calling just in terms of I didn't love the 3 straight red zone runs. That was pretty disgusting. But they did free Calvin up to the corner. I thought Allen may have led him a little bit too far, but Austin didn't really catch it cleanly either. So I probably want to go back and see the replay one more time on that one, but just a bummer because, I thought it was really good design. They ended up using kind of like a little bit of a rub to get him open, but just a really sloppy first half, man. To be honest with you, they were down 17-0. And of course, I could care less about the score of a preseason game, but just the overall execution. It seemed like they did some good things on offense in terms of they had moments where they moved the ball pretty efficiently. They just couldn't get out of their own way, man. That's just really unfortunate when that stuff happens. But as far as the defense goes, the little bit we saw of Keanu Benton and Nick Herbig, very encouraging. Benton won with a nasty, nasty long arm from his zero tech spot, beating the center, pushing him back in Stroud's lap. Herbig had a really awesome edge set on a perimeter run. We saw him get into the backfield. His closing burst and speed, man, is pretty phenomenal for an edge rusher. So I thought we saw good things from both those guys in the limited playing time that they got. Peyton Wilson buzzing around the field early, shooting gas, flying downhill. I thought he played very, very hard. He was in on a lot of plays. I thought his play did tail off a little bit as the game went on. He got lost in coverage once that I saw. He missed a couple tackles. But, there were definitely flashes there. I think, it's a good thing, too. Elandon Roberts played a little bit last night, but no Patrick Queen. They were able to get him a ton of reps, and I think that's obviously helpful from a rookie standpoint. I thought that the Stroud touchdown throw, that was the big one against a lot of the quote unquote starters. Of course, none of the big names kind of played for the Steelers, Watt, Fitzpatrick, Hayward, all that. But a phenomenal throw off a old school Kyle Shanahan concept called Skinner Hurricane. I posted the actual screenshot of it on Twitter if you guys want to go check that out. But it's basically just double post. The Steelers are playing cover 3 buzz. Elliott was coming down to the hook. The first kind of crosser actually ended up removing him from the throwing window. Great anticipation from Stroud. In my opinion, though, Anthony Everett was playing the deep third. I think he's playing a little bit too loose there. He also took a terrible angle to the ball after it was released. KZ needs to make that tackle, too. It's good play design from Slowick. We talked about it. He diced them up last year. I got a lot of respect for him. Texas is going to be tough this year, man. The AFC in general is definitely loaded, and, Houston's going to be in the thick of it, man. They've got a lot of weapons, and Stroud's playing at a really, really high level right now. I thought it was a little strange to see both Darius Rush and Corey Trice playing into the fourth quarter. That just wasn't what I expected. I kind of expected those two guys to be the first backups off the bench once we saw Porter and Dante Jackson kind of exit. Not really sure what that was about. Trice did have a nice tackle in the flat. It's awesome to just see him back out there on the field. It's been almost 2 years since he's actually been in a live game. So we actually saw him on the field. That was a good thing. I just wish we saw him a little bit earlier and a little bit more. I thought that Kyron Johnson had some impressive moments where he showed us get off and bend, a couple ghost move wins around the edge. The only thing that I could think that would potentially hold him back from fighting for that edge 4 spot now that Marcus Golden is retired, I think he just might be a little bit too light to rely on for playing time right now. He got blown up in the run game a couple occasions, one time in the red zone on a touchdown run. I think they had the fullback come kick him out, and he just got absolutely blown off the ball. So it is what it is. They're going to have to find an edge rusher for, I don't know. It's kind of tricky because I think ideally in a perfect world, that edge 4 guy would be someone that you could rely on from a run defense standpoint. So a guy like Marcus Golden. But you would also probably like to have that player play special teams as well. If you're going to get a vet, like, is that vet actually going to play special teams at this point in their career? Probably not. So I don't know. I mean, maybe we see some DeMarvin Leal a little bit out wide, but mostly played on the interior, I felt like last night in the snaps that I noticed. But he's another guy with the arrow pointed up on, man. He had a sack, couple nice run defense reps where I thought he was able to lock out, create a new line of scrimmage, getting penetration in the backfield. I thought he had a really nice performance last night and has continued kind of what we've heard about him having a pretty good summer. Montravius Adams, another guy who I thought flashed a little bit last night. He had a sack. I also think he had another batted pass. I think he ended back-to-back drives. So anytime you're a defensive lineman getting your defense off the field, it's always a good thing. Those guys looked really encouraging to me. The Quez Watkins punt return experience was surely something, not something I particularly enjoyed, and I probably would guess that you guys feel the same way. I want to see Calvin back there next game. Talking with him at practice last week, he's really excited. Like, he really wants to take a step forward as a returner. I think he's going to be the punt returner in the regular season, so I want to see him back there. I really appreciate Plumlee's willingness to kind of do everything to crack the roster. I think it's very unique when a guy's playing quarterback, special teams, he's returning kicks. But with the new kickoff rules and everything being so like new and fresh, I'd really like to see them try someone back there that's actually going to have, like, they're actually possibly going to use in a game setting. So like next week, regardless if it's Cordero Patterson, I don't need confirmation that Cordero Patterson can return kicks, but like other guys that they're planning on using back there during the regular season, I would like to see those guys get reps in live settings rather than having Plumlee back there. No disrespect to him. It's just like, there's no shot that he's going to make the 53-man roster, as sad as that is to say. I also thought Zach Frazier was quietly pretty solid. Will look better once I kind of get the all 22. I tweeted this late at night, but he was somebody that I was kind of a little bit more focused on when I watched the first half the second time through. Thought he provided some really nice moments. It was really steady in pass protection, I thought. But we'll see what the film says on that. Not really married to that take or really any of these takes until I get the film. But overall, some good, some bad. I'm hoping to have the tape sometime today, start digging through that. I normally, which long-term subscribers probably already have realized this, but I normally don't post film rooms on the weekend for algorithm purposes. But we'll see. I think you guys deserve it, especially for all the support and everything y'all been giving me. I definitely appreciate it over the summer. And I know you guys are really excited about football being back. So I'll see how quickly I can turn things around, man. I have an idea for one of the film rooms, but if there's something you guys want to see, be sure to let me know in the comments. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.